Welcome everyone to the Ryan Garcia Show. I'm Ryan Garcia, your host here, and we're going to be talking about various Yankee topics in this show. We're going to be doing more Yankees and Yankees adjacent or prospect level stuff. So a lot of the prospect stuff I don't get into on the main podcast, I will get into in this show. So that's one of the things I'm most excited about. I'm excited to talk about more niche topics and get into stuff that perhaps like isn't very mainstream, but we can still get into and nerd out a little bit here on whether that's international free agent pursuits, prospects who are playing well, things of that nature, and of course, providing still my thoughts on the Major League team. This is not replacing the podcast. This is in combination with the podcast. This is not replacing my show with Jacob. This is in combination with my show with Jacob. So this is not replacing any shows. It's just an additional piece of content for the YouTube page. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. And without further ado, let's just get started here. And let's begin by talking about the Yankees' pursuit of Shoki Oda. The New York Yankees, according to Tokyo Sports Web, are a serious contender for the services of Oda. Oda is an 18-year-old teenage pitcher out of Japan. He is somebody who could either go into the NPB draft, where he would almost certainly be a first-round pick, or pitch for a major league club, not at the major league level. He would go to their farm system, but pitch in a major league organization. He's currently still deciding whether he's going to go to the draft or whether he's going to sign with an MLB organization. Time will still tell if that's the case. We have no definitive information to suggest that he is decided or that he's definitely going one way or another. The teams that have been scouting him are the Yankees, Padres, Dodgers, Mets. Rangers are a team that's observed him as well, according to Tokyo Sports Web. And the Dodgers are listed as the favorites. The Dodgers are obviously the most prominent team in the Pacific Rim. They have the best player to really potentially ever come out of Japan in Shohei Ohtani. You can make the argument it's Ichiro, but I think at this point, Shohei has like his 3 MVPs, 4 MVPs, I think actually. He pretty confident in saying Shohei's the best player to come out of Japan and play Major League Baseball. Yoshinobu Yamamoto could end up being the best pitcher to do so. Roki Sasaki is not really materialized there, but he is still on that team and somebody who, if he takes leaps and takes steps forward, could be a productive major league piece. And Oda would obviously be joining like royalty, Japanese royalty, baseball royalty on the Dodgers, and I'm sure that's an appeal. Maybe it's not an appeal to him, but it's a general appeal. So, there's that. Geography is a big deal here. The Dodgers are closer to Japan than the Yankees are. I'm sure that's a factor, or at least being discussed in these things. The Dodgers are the best organization in baseball. So those are all things you have to contend with. Now, the one thing the Yankees do have going for them is they have a lot of pool money left. I think they can offer more money than anybody else. So if the Yankees want him, they can get him. Or if the Yankees want to give him the best offer, they can give him the best offer financially. Again, don't know if that's his only motivating factor. I'd be shocked if it was his only motivating factor, because if it was, then he would just take the money. He wouldn't be negotiating with other teams. Like they can't offer him as much as the Yankees can. You have a set bonus limit. So the Yankees have so much pool money because they lost all their commitments because they fired their director of international free agent scouting. So they were like, yeah, we're yoinking all of our commitments. We think we're bad at this. We're putting in a new guy in Mario Garza. And Mario Garza has really emphasized trying to be more involved in the Pacific Rim. So hopefully it bears fruit with Oda. Oda would be a big get for this system. I think it'd be like, pitching prospect like number three. Like I think it'd be like LeGrand, Elmer, and then Oda. I think that's kind of how that would go. So that would be a pretty big get. And I also want to note here with like a scouting report, up to 97 miles per hour on a 4-seam fastball. Good vertical life on it. Curveball, off-speed pitch. Can't tell if I think it's more of a changeup, like just like the grip and the release and the spin orientation leads me to believe it's more of just like a classic changeup, but I could be wrong. Whatever it is, it's an off-speed pitch. He's got pretty good swing and miss stuff. He has a thinner frame. He has room to add some weight and project some more velo onto him. He sits around 94, 93, 94, 95, somewhere in that range. He's, again, got good vertical movement. And those kinds of pitching prospects are the kinds of guys I tend to have the most stock in. I think guys with really good fastball traits and fastball or projectable fastball velocity, smooth mechanics, good athleticism, those guys are the guys you want to bet on, because for a team like the Yankees, where they are good at strength training, they're good at pitch shape development, they're arguably the best in baseball at developing pitchers. They're a good organization for you to land with, and if you can import a premium high school talent like Oda, where he's impressionable, he's coachable, he is very much raw, and you can form that lump of clay, really, it's a very refined lump of clay already, but if you can mold that into a optimized version of himself, that player could end up being a number 2 starter for the next for a Yankee playoff team, not the next Yankee playoff team, a Yankee playoff team. So I really love the idea of the Yankees ending up with Oda. I don't know if that'll happen. He could go to the MPB draft. He could go to the Dodgers. He could do a lot of different things. So don't want to get too much ahead of myself there. Let's shift gears over to the Major League side of things. We'll go back to prospect stuff later, but let's talk a little bit about last night's game. Last night's game sucked. That sucked. They scored, which was fun. Like, it was a fun game. It was an exciting game. Like, it was a good baseball game. Don't get me wrong, but it was a shitty baseball game for the Yankees in the sense of, I think the New York Yankees, when you score 7 runs, you want to win the beeping ball game. You just do. You want to win the beeping ball game, and the Yankees didn't win the beeping ball game. So, I think that the New York Yankees desperately, and I truly do mean desperately, need every single game they can get when the Rays lose, and they didn't get another game that the Rays lost. Damn it, right? Like that sucks. And that is a huge swing in your division odds. If you won yesterday, you're probably up like 5 to 10% in your division odds from the entering a day, which I think we're around 22, 23%. You might have been around 3%, like a 1 in 3 chance of winning the division. Now you're probably around like 18%. So that's a huge swing, huge deal this late into the year. And so for the Yankees, again, like, that's a tough break. And so they're going to have to contend with that. And they're going to have to find a way to make up for the fact that they dropped that ball game by trying to win tonight and hoping the Rays lose tonight and hoping the Red Sox lose tonight. And I don't like that situation. This team has played really good baseball as of late. It just sucks that you didn't get last night's game. Bullpen isn't deep enough. That's like one of the big issues with their bullpen in the regular season, where you have to, you have to put yourself in a situation where, you can't just lean on the same 3 guys every night. But Boone has to, because it's the only way he's going to win baseball games consistently. And, I can kind of push back a little bit on some of like the decisions Boone made last night. Thought Warren in for Varsho still was crazy. I didn't like it. But the bullpen, nobody was working. Nobody did a good job. So, like, I thought Cruz should have been out and Hedrick should have been in for Pena in the 6th. Hedrick ended up getting blown up later that night. So would he have gotten blown up against Pena? I don't know, right? Like, I don't want to go fallacy of the predetermined outcome, but man, that does, like, it sucks when you don't get a good bullpen performance. But outside of the bottom 3 of the Yankee bullpen, or the back end, Blackburn, Hedrick, and Bednar, it's a bad bullpen. Yarbrough's not a leverage guy. Hill's not a leverage guy. Yeri's not a leverage guy. Hanner and Tope are not leverage guys. Cruz has pitched himself out of being a high leverage guy. He's not really reliable. The underlying numbers suggest he is regressing fast. I don't like where we're at with Fernando Cruz, so that is a concern. It's not as much of a concern in the postseason, where, again, you can condense like 3 or 4 relievers in a short series, but in terms of the regular season trying to win the division, which does matter. I'm sorry, it does matter. Winning regular season games matters. I'm sorry, it does, especially in this playoff format. This is a detriment to their World Series odds, and this is why Brian Cashman should have gotten more arms at the deadline. I don't want to hear that, they're going to get arms back. I don't care about that stuff. You worry. That is a postseason thing. It's not a regular season thing, and I'm sorry, the regular season matters, and if we want to pretend you can just turn it on in September and guarantee that you're going to win a playoff series to get into the ALDS, you're crazy. You cannot guarantee that you're going to win the wild card round against the Red Sox. You and the Red Sox are very evenly matched. You're basically the same team in terms of offensive production, in terms of starting pitching strength, and I think we have a better rotation. They have a better bullpen. They are the same baseball team, and that is not a good matchup. That is a really bad matchup for the Yankees. They have a ton of left-handed starters, so yeah, that sucks for the Yankees. It really does. Let's get into some prospect stuff here. Luke Pettitte, son of Andy Pettitte, has been really hitting at the minor league level. Clubbed another home run last night. He has been on a tear since going and being reported to single A. He's playing some first base, which he hasn't done in a while, I think since high school, but that's because he's a pitcher and hitter. And he isn't pitching right now because he's recovering from UCL surgery, UCL reconstruction surgery. He's hitting .350 with a 1.335 OPS and 3 home runs, 7 hits. He has done an awesome job of getting the ball in the air and pulling it. He has displayed pretty good exit velocities, popped a 109.8 already in his short time with the Tampa Tarpons. Good barrel rates, good bat to ball skills, flat swing with good bat speed, it seems. Those are the kinds of traits that are going to project pretty well. And if he can keep hitting and find himself in high A by season's end, which isn't impossible, this could be a guy who pops on prospect lists, ends up on a top 30. I'm really excited about what I've seen so far. Again, too early to start, crowning him or anything, but it's been encouraging. He's off to an encouraging start in his minor league career. We'll see what it means in the long-term future. Another name I want to talk about real quick. Let's talk about Eric Genther. Eric Genther's had a really, really hot season. He's played very well in the summer, specifically. In August, he's hit very well. Genther was a UDFA for the Yankees in 2025, but he has displayed a really good aptitude for bat-to-ball abilities. Entering play last night in August, he had already a 138 WRC plus and a 507 slugging percentage. He has more walks than strikeouts over that time span. Genther has really good plate control. He has a 13% walk rate and an 18% strikeout rate. He's a catcher. He was a recently converted catcher. 14 home runs, 173 isolated power. He's a pretty interesting hitter. He's a little bit old for the level. He's 24 at high A, so that is important to note. But I think a lot of like the receiving improvements, receiving being framing, and the really good bat to ball abilities are stuff that should translate to Double A. Now, I do want to see him in Double A. I need to see him perform at that level before I start going too crazy, but I think he'll end up being a top 30 prospect for us in our near end of year update. So that's pretty fun. Elmer Rodriguez is probably going to pitch today. Elmer Rodriguez, couple of notes from him and what he's done at the minor league level as of late. Better fastball velocity. Sinker velo is up considerably. He's sitting around 95.3 this month, was around 94 to 94.5 in previous months. Sinker is getting more whiffs and limiting more damage contact as the velo has jumped. Pretty predictable to assume that your sinker performs better when it's being thrown faster. More curveballs as well, throwing more curveballs, leading to more whiffs. His highest whiff rate in a month has come in August, and it's come with his highest curveball usage. There's a direct correlation to a spike in whiff rate and a spike in curveball usage, so that's really encouraging. I think Elmer is going to be a big, big part of their ability to stay afloat if he can pitch well, and they stay afloat without Freed for a turn in the rotation, without Weathers for an undisclosed period of time. I think he's only have to make one spot start. He may have to make two, but we'll see. If he can do these things, positives, right? If you win today's game, positive. You just need to get the wins where you can get them. Elmer's going to have a tough task because the Astros do not, they have the best hitter in baseball right now, and Jordan Alvarez. And it's tough. It really is. So, I'm interested to see what the Yankees end up doing with Elmer and how he ends up factoring to today, because they once did this with the Dodgers where they're like, hey, Elmer's going to factor into the pitching plans, and then they didn't pitch him. So I wonder if they avoid pitching him today. We'll see. Also want to note with prospects real quick here, couple of injury stuff. Ben Hess is out for the year. That's really discouraging. He has had a weird year. I don't think he's going to be a top 5 prospect in the system by season's end. We'll see. I don't know. I have to see. Bryce Cunningham made his Double-A debut. He has been hurt a lot, and he has not pitched particularly well. He didn't pitch great in this outing, but he's in Double-A, and hopefully he starts to develop some feel for his command and starts getting some more swings and misses, because he is someone who, they had high hopes for when they drafted him out of Vanderbilt, and I had high hopes for. He has a very good pitcher frame, but the fastball velocity isn't where I want it to be. It just isn't. It's like 93, 94. Thought it would be a little bit better. Just hasn't been. And I'm sorry if my voice is hoarse. I burned out my voice yesterday. Let's talk a little bit about Rory Fox. Rory Fox is someone I have a good deal of interest in. Rory Fox is a Double-A prospect now. He was in High A. He has not pitched great in Double-A, but I think his stuff is pretty good. And if you look at his strikeout minus walk rates, really outside of the first start, they're above average in Double-A. So he limits the walks. He has a fastball that can get swings and misses when he top rails it. Slider with good depth. Sinker that he's developed that has a decent amount of movement. At least it's a separating pitch from his four-seamer. Needs better feel of the changeup, because that'll help him a lot. Has a cutter, has a curveball that could help him as well. If he could be a mix-it-up guy with the weird release traits he has, the good feel for spin, he has velocity, I think he can still max out. There are good things to like about Rory Fox. He's a projectable pitcher. He's a year 1 guy in the system. Next year will be year 2. Excited to see what year 2 looks like, because again, Fox is a good athlete, moves well down the mound, smooth mechanics, again, good fastball traits. A lot of the stuff that I praised Oda for, it's not the same profile, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of the things I praise Oda for, like I talk about, I love good fastball traits. I think good fastball traits and good athleticism, those are and good feel for spin, those are things that can translate into a pretty productive MLB pitcher. Maybe not even a starter, but an MLB pitcher. And I'm excited to see what that ends up looking like. Yostin Pena. This is the guy I wanted to highlight the most today. And this is the final prospect we'll talk about. Yostin Pena keeps hitting. He has one of the best damage output rates in Single A. He has a 108 90th percentile EV. He's already hit a ball over 113 miles per hour. He is a beeping stud, for lack of better terms, in terms of his batted ball data. Top 10 prospect in the system on Baseball America. Will be a top 10 prospect in the system on our rankings. 31 steals in 51 games, 12 home runs. He needs better swing decisions. Swing decisions are just too crazy. He's chasing at 44% of pitches. He is swinging at 79% of them in zone. So, the zone swing rate minus chase swing rate isn't horrendous, but it isn't like where I want it to be either. Like, there is too much of this in the profile, and I do think it contributes to swing and miss because his zone contact rate is 78.4%. Not great, but not horrendous either. And he's 18. He's young for the level. He skipped the complex league. Hopefully this offseason we see a lot of development and we see him go into next year as a guy with an improved hit tool. Maybe right, like if we can get I think the hit tool is like a 30 right now. Maybe, like I just do. I think it's a 3. Raw power tool is a 7. He's a 70 raw power guy, and he gets good game power out of it. Like he's got pull side pop. So I think it's a 70 grade game power as well. He's a 60 runner. I think he's a really good athlete. He's played center field. I think he'll end up settling in the corners, but he's played more center field. He's only played center field, and DH a couple games, but he has not played the corner outfield in single A, which is pretty encouraging. It tells you where they think of his defensive abilities, or at least his defensive upside. And again, it's a matter of, can we get the hit tool to like a 4? We get a 4 hit tool, we might have a top 100 prospect. We get to a 4 hit tool, we might have a 250, 320, 330, 500 slug guy. Like, that is like a possibility. That is like the good version of Yostein Payne at the big leagues with good speed and all that. Like, he could be a really fun ball player. And I'm really excited to see what he ends up doing. Again, I know the strikeout rates aren't high. And so you might go, why isn't his hit tool better? But I'm looking more at whiff rates. I think that's stickier than strikeout rates in small samples. That's just my opinion, but that's not here nor there. Again, he's super aggressive, so he very rarely gets to 2 strike counts, but if you can get him to a 2 strike count, he will swing and miss, and you'll expand the zones. And good pitchers in Double A and Triple A and the major leagues will get him to those counts. So that's why we want to refine those things. Not because he's presently bad, but because against better competition, they will do things that he isn't seeing right now. He's going to see better breaking balls, going to see better breaking ball command, etc., etc. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate your guys' support here. We'll do longer episodes as we keep doing this. So we appreciate your guys' support here. We'll see you guys in the next one, and peace out, everybody.